Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 706 of the Drunk Nerds podcast. I'm host as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing fine. Doing fine now. In terms of like the past week, it's been really interesting. I've been the main leader in my workplace since the my initial boss is out and about and stuff, and it's been kind of interesting. But other than that, though, I've been playing little bits of games here and there, most of the same old shit, kind of the same as the last couple weeks.
Okay.
A little bit of Power Wash Simulator, but less of that, but more of my Pokemon playthrough stuff. So I'll say a little bit more once we get into what we've been playing. But yeah, man, I'm sad football season is over. Had a chance, obviously, both of us had the chance to watch the Super Bowl. And quite honestly, for as chaotic of a season as it was, it really was kind of a letdown, kind of
Yeah.
how boring the game
Ended
was.
on a whipper.
And what's interesting about it is like you pretty much knew who was going to win by about halftime, even though it was like 9-0 Seahawks at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. I was like, 9 might be enough. Like, they can just kneel for the here on out and probably win.
Now, here's the thing. It's like I'm a big 49ers fan. I don't care about the Seahawks, or I don't care about the freaking Patriots. Although I do find it really hilarious is that you basically have the Seahawks that literally call themselves the dark side
Terrible nickname.
against the
Terrible nickname.
evil empire
Yeah.
of the fucking New England Patriots taking on one another. But I will say for at least this area in terms of for friends, family, and stuff that support the Seahawks. Yeah, yeah, I'm more so happy for them because they have a chance to enjoy their team
No.
winning the Super Bowl.
Gables.
But for
No.
me,
No.
it's like I
No. No.
don't
No.
give
No.
a
No. I'm
flying
sorry. No.
crap.
No. No. I'm not. No. No. You hold on to that hate in your heart. Okay. This is football. This is sports. We're not
I
happy
know.
for our rival to win. Fuck that. You hate them. You hold on to this anger for the next year.
I want to just want to be remotely clear. Yeah, I'm happy for my friends and family,
No.
but I fucking hate the Seahawks, and I will
Exactly.
continue to hate the fucking Seahawks
Yes.
and the Rams and the Cardinals and whoever the hell gets inside of my team's way, including you, Kansas City mother. Anyway, that's going way up the line for me, and I am starting to get really heated because this, ladies and gentlemen,
Let
is
it
a
fuel
gaming
you.
podcast. And Tyler, how have you been doing this week?
I'm doing all right. Drinking a beer. Yeah, it was a kind of a uh, look as a growing up here, living, born and raised in Iowa. Big Big Ten fan. That first half of football was just orgasmic to me. It was just it was just big meaty men slapping meat. Loved it. Field goals. This was my type of shit. Then yeah, by the second half it was kind of boring. The halftime show was definitely saved it for me. I thought it was a really good halftime show. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Not gonna got a little emotional there towards the end of it. I don't know why. Just kind of hit me, but I enjoyed it. Kid Rock killed it. I'm kidding. Bad Bunny killed it. But yeah, that was like the highlight of the show to me was that. But yeah, I don't know. It is bittersweet. The football's over. It just kind of sucks 2 years in a row. I really just didn't want to see either team win. I'm like, I don't. The
Yeah,
Eagles, Chiefs.
pretty much.
Everybody's like, who do you want to win, the Seahawks or the Patriots? And I was just like, honestly, if Bane can just show up at the opening kickoff and blow the stadium up, I can live with that. Just call the game. It's over.
Or
Hein,
or Tyler, or
what?
Tyler, how about this and stuff? The whole freaking like conspiracy theories about these substation stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I was just imagining in my head, like probably the best positive outcome or something for that and stuff. It's like all of a sudden you have both of the team's players or something just getting these mysterious like injuries because of this whole freaking
Yeah.
EMF freaking stupid shit that's been going
Yeah.
around
It's
and
like that.
stuff.
It's like that crazy like soccer game where like lightning struck the field and everybody like it electrocuted everybody in the field. It's like that with
Yeah.
EMF. I don't know how it worked, but I'm curious. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of disappointing, but yeah.
Oh.
I'm a Packers fan, so I've been off. I've been looking at free agency and what my team's gonna do, and looking at the draft for the last month now. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. But I don't know. Yeah, I've been doing all right. Clanging and banging as always. It's whatever. Another week out there of yeah, living in Iowa in February. So not the greatest, but but yeah, I'm doing okay. But Gables, this is the Drunk Nerds podcast. Where we each and every week we get together and talk about video games and everything we love about them. We're just two guys. We do this for fun, and I usually have a couple beers while we do it. Hence, Drunk Nerds. And yeah, so if you guys want to support us in any way, we don't make money off of this. We just do it because we love doing it. And so honestly, if you can just sign up, subscribe, 5-star reviews, thumbs ups, all follows, whatever you do on the platform, every podcast platform, we're on all of those. YouTube is probably the best place, honestly. I like seeing those numbers go up. I constantly am looking at that YouTube Studio app on my phone, and Like, it makes a little nice little, shot of adrenaline there, feeling good of like every time I see that subscriber number go up a little bit. We're in like the 570s right now, so it'd be nice, get us over there to 1,000. So that'd be really great if you can do that for us. But yeah, like shares also. Shares are actually probably the best thing to do for us. But anyways, Gables, let's jump into some of the news. So kind of I'll say for the for February, pretty good week in news here, Gables. I forgot, I meant to send you the link to the uh, copy we're gonna use from this week in video games. I'm gonna do that right
Oh.
now. I apologize for that. We started talking about football and I forgot. So give me a second. Sorry everybody. Boom, done. All right, fix that. But yeah, anyways, Gables, we had the
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase on was that Thursday that happened? It feels like a month ago. For some reason, even though it was like 3 days ago. It's about 30 minutes. Gables, what was your overall thoughts on that Nintendo Direct?
I'll be honest with you, Tyler. A bunch of the stuff was games that we kind of figured would come to the initial Switch 2 platform. Some of the third-party games that should be there. If you want to like just have more robust third-party games, like say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being one, obviously. Let me see. I think it was kind of surprising to see a little bit more Bethesda stuff that came onto the initial platform, like say the Fallout 4 anniversary stuff, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion stuff. And you
Oh,
know what's kind of weird?
yeah.
Not just like the Indiana Jones game that's coming to Switch 2, but did you know that this is a full physical game on the Switch 2?
Indiana Jones, yeah. It barely
Yeah.
fits by like zero point 0.4 gigabytes. Gable, did you know
That
about?
is the only
Yes.
This is the only version of this game that's completely on a physical either disc or
Yeah.
cartridge.
Gables,
Not the PS5 version, not the Xbox Series X version, the Switch 2.
yeah.
I don't know how this happened or what type of contract Nintendo had in store with like Microsoft for this stuff, but apparently they're the chosen one in terms of this stuff. I mean, what the hell?
Gables, did you hear about Oblivion Remastered and Fallout 4 though?
No.
It is literally a code in a box. Gables is dying. Gables died a
I'm
little bit inside.
I'm really laughing at this like irony here. It's like what makes the Indiana Jones game like the most important thing to put in physical form,
The
and
newest
then you
game on the
have
platform.
literally two other games that not only have been around for a while, but yet those two would have best been handled with complete physical games for that system.
Yeah. It's like Fallout 4, a 12-year-old game isn't going to work on this. What are we doing?
Oh, I know, right? It's just so preposterous to this. I mean, I get that the whole digital key card thing is not working out a lot with like people for Switch 2, but at the same time, it's even worse when you just have a random code stick into a box.
Yeah. Yeah. I do wonder about, is it like, is there at least like a cart, even if it's like blank, you know,
Oh,
like
I know, right?
at least put like a physical cart in there. Like, even though it's like there's nothing on it, just so I have it. I don't know, but I thought I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Um,
But what I will say though about this initial direct, there were a couple things I did like. I did like the gameplay stuff for Monster Hunter Stories 3. That actually looked fairly nice. I did like the way the game looks in terms of the turn-based combat and stuff like that, the whole introduction of the whole monsties stuff that you get to collect these different monsters in order to try to train them up and take on enemies and stuff and type of that shit. And then orbitals. Orbitals. The first thing that
yes.
you saw through that presentation, that really surprised me because seeing more of the gameplay of it, it reminded me so much of like some games that we have played before in terms of like the things like A Way Out, Split Fiction, freaking like oh god, what was the one with the two parents now?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two, thank you.
Yeah.
It looks like it's on the par to this.
Mm.
It's in of itself, what I really love about the game, more so than just the creative like gameplay styles and stuff, and having be sort of similar to co-op experiences we've played in the past, the art style of it is really unique. This literally looks like it's a anime from the 1980s.
Yeah.
that type of dark, cel shaded, not just dark color, the vibrant sort of like whatever type of filter they got on this is really doing it for me because it feels like you're watching, say, old episodes of Robotech or old episodes of like say oh gosh, not Skies of Arcadia. That's another different game. Captain Harlock.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking of. That whole like anime series from like 1970s and stuff. It's more or less that type of look that kind of really kind of lures me in a little bit. Obviously, there's a little bit of campiness to it, but the gameplay surrounding the characters, surrounding what you can do in this game, it's the most, I felt like it was the most interesting game that was actually shown in this Nintendo Direct, this partner showcase. And then all the other stuff that was kind of showcased afterwards, this kind of games I would have expected for it to come to the Switch 2. Like I said before, the Bethesda stuff, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth stuff, But honestly, I didn't think it was a bad Nintendo Direct. Actually, I think for people that were waiting for this content, this probably would have been a good direct for them. But for someone like me that already has a lot of these games on different systems,
Yeah.
except for Orbitals, obviously, but and Steam, and then I can potentially play these things on Steam Deck. I mean, this is really kind of lacking for me because I was really looking forward to like some bits of third-party content that I hadn't really seen yet come onto other platforms. There was a couple of other little tidbits, though, I did like. The whole aspect of these arcade archive games and stuff like that,
Cool
and the
borders.
whole introduction of the console stuff.
Yeah.
The console stuff was really fascinating because you literally had these two games that are coming onto multiple platforms, right? So Cool Borders, a PlayStation 1 game you can download on the Switch 2.
Mm.
And then you have Ninja Gaiden 2, the NES version of Ninja Gaiden 2. I would have thought this would have been like an NSO game on
Yeah.
here
I assumed it was
because
already on there.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I had to double check just to make sure. And no, you have the original Ninja Gaiden on NSO, the NES one. You don't have 2 or 3 on there.
Hmm.
And so this is really kind of interesting why all of a sudden, you have these different versions, like these subsequent sequels or like potential other stuff on your initial ecosystem stuff for like a set amount.
Mm.
And like if you were gonna go and have like companies do this and stuff, why couldn't they have just done a virtual console to begin with, or just have the option where you could buy these single things without a subscription?
Yeah. Yeah. What sucks though is like Cool Board. I was like, I might actually buy Cool Board. It's $13. I'm like, I don't want that bad. I'm like, I was like, I'll play it. If it was like $5, I'm like, I'm gonna play this game for 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, that was fun. I'm gonna turn it off. So I'm like, I don't. Not. It's not worth $13.
No, if this was something like say on the PlayStation Plus service or something like that through their catalog stuff, yeah, there'd be immediate like download and try for me, and then if I didn't like the gameplay of it, I would just delete it off my system.
Yeah.
But definitely not. I don't feel like that game in specific is worth the initial
Yeah.
10 to 13.
Yeah. I just
Ninja
have one.
Gaiden 2, however, I would have probably paid like maybe $5 or $6 at most.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much it is though on the
Yeah.
eShop though.
I just have nostalgia for Cool Borders back in the day. So I was like, oh fuck yeah, I want to
Yeah,
play that. And then like, oh, never mind. But I almost turned my Switch 2 on for the first time in like 3 months. Gables.
dude.
It almost happened.
I had like nostalgia for like Cool Borders 2 because I
Mm.
actually played a little bit of that more so than the original.
I used to have the pizza demo disc and I played a lot of it through that. So
Ah,
yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on a lot of things you said. Or it's kind of the thing we talked about. It's kind of the same conversation we've been having. We had like last week about the room, even when there was rumored to be the partner showcase. It's just like, it's like cool. There's gonna be some stuff here, but it's gonna be games that are either older and they've been out for a while and they're gonna charge. It's gonna be more expensive on these new platforms, or they're gonna be the worst version of these games. And it's like, I guess
yes.
now that the Switch 2 in the last year or so, since the Switch 2 has been revealed, these partner showcases are like some of the third party stuff that's being shown at these directs has gotten better because at least like we're seeing newer games at these events. But it's
Mm,
it's the same issue. I think what the last one we had back in July, the partner showcase we had, where it's just like cool. There's some cool game like on paper this looks good, but it's like these games like 90% of these third party games are coming to other platforms
yes.
that like are that are actually be new games. I'm gonna play them elsewhere. It's like I'm not gonna pay the same price for the lesser version of it. And I understand everybody's different. Like if the Switch 2 is maybe you only have one console and you're like Nintendo's the console you buy and hey that's fine. Or you just like having the option of taking it on the go. I understand that, but like someone like me, I prefer sitting on my couch and playing games that way. I love my Steam Deck, but honestly I play 50-50 at this point, handheld and um, docked. But like usually, I'm typically only playing games on there that like aren't on consoles yet. It's usually indie games, but like if like Resident Evil or Pragmata and stuff, like I'm gonna play those games. I'm looking forward to those games. I'm gonna play it. If I'm gonna spend $70 in that game, I'm gonna play it on my beautiful PS5. Or like I'm gonna play it on my Xbox Series X. And like I said, like obviously everybody's different, but I feel like most people that own a Switch 2 at this point most likely have another console. Like as
Yes,
far
they
as like
do. More than
adults,
likely.
like obviously there's probably kids that have this thing, but like a lot of people like they like it's kind of like the Wii. Nintendo's like I was always like it's like you have that and you also have the Xbox or the PlayStation. It's like in the Wii era, it's like the Wii 60 or the Wii 360 or what it was, like that
Or
era.
the PS Wii or whichever, to
Yeah,
where you always, in terms of that generation over 20 years ago, it was the whole thing where, yeah, even though the Wii was the most successful console in terms of its sales and stuff, the games and everything else kind of like took a subsidiary thing and stuff towards, would you, because you had other consoles that you would spend the predominant amount as your
yeah,
primary console, either the 360 or the PS3, and so
yeah,
the terms like PS Wii or Wii 60 or anything else like that kind of turned up.
yeah. Yeah, PSU for the PS4 Wii U era. People, the sickos like Gables and I that bought a Wii U. But yeah, that's just kind of the bummer. Is like, but I mean, I guess it's better than the like the Switch era partner directs because those were fucking terrible. Because it was like
Yes.
it was all old ass games being ported over to the Switch, and I'm like, this looks like garbage. Like they look really bad. They don't run as well, and they're charging maybe not full price what they were when they launched 4 or 5 years ago, but they're like $10 cheaper. It's like it's $50 instead of 60 or whatever. It's just like I look at all like there's like a decent amount of games on here I'm looking forward to. Like Orbitals obviously is like that's a game I'm looking forward to. But I mean I'm gonna play that on Switch because it's exclusive to that. But I look at like Adventures of Elliot. Like I'm actually really excited for that game. It's coming out June 18th.
Mm.
I thought it showed really well. I'm hoping they put a demo out soon. Like kind of like Square Enix is pretty common at putting out the demos like close to launch and the stuff transfers over to the main game. Like I'm actually really looking forward to the game, but I pre-ordered on my PS5. I'm gonna play it through there. Pragmata, a game I pre-ordered as well. Like I think the game actually looks really cool. The demo just finally dropped on consoles. I'm gonna play that. I'm buying. I've already pre-ordered on PS5. I look at Resident Evil 7. Obviously, I'm gonna play that. Or Resident Evil 9 rather. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play that on my PS5. I will, however, buy those amiibos. My God, Gables, have you seen the Leon amiibo?
Still, Amiibo looks pretty damn good.
No, Gables, zoom in on the head of Leon.
Huh?
I will send you a picture. It is frightening. I cannot believe like Gables. Like I'm an idiot. I'm gonna buy them. Like I have like 4 different amiibo pre-ordered right now for like
Yeah.
$35 a piece, and I'm pissed about it. But I'm gonna buy
Yeah.
them because I'm a fucking weirdo. And I'm gonna bitch about it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy these stupid ass. But what's baffling to me, Gables, is these amiibos are coming in the summertime. And they have like exclusive skins that attach to them. But I'm like, cool. So 5 months after the game is out, now you're gonna have like skins for your guns. Like awesome. That's fucking dumb. I don't. I mean, that's just kind of the issue. That's kind of like And then I just thought the Bethesda thing at the end was just kind of like a womp womp. Kind of like, oh, okay, that's how like. I don't know, I almost feel like if you put orbitals at like blew out orbitals a little bit more, spend a few more minutes with it, and like that would have been the one more thing that would have been better. But like it just kind of it does kind of suck sometimes. When, like the best thing, probably the biggest thing to come out of it for Nintendo itself, was the first thing shown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, they're better now because of like I'm like okay, there's things I'm getting out of it that I'm looking forward to playing, but it's just stuff I'm looking forward to playing on other platforms. It's like Turok Origins, first time we've actually seen gameplay for that. Like that kind of looks like a fun game. Like it looks like a fun junk food type a shooter game, and like I'm down for those every now and again. But fall time though this year, looking at like what we're looking at for this fall, might be rough. You might want to delay that a little bit. Just looking, like all the stuff that's rumored to be coming out this fall between just like third parties, but also Xbox has a lot, PlayStation has a lot, and then you have GTA 6. So and then whatever Nintendo's gonna have. So and probably Pokemon. So I don't know. I thought for like there's a handful of things I'm looking forward to that came out of this, but it's just like I said, like I'm gonna play all of these but orbitals elsewhere. So just yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like everybody else, just it's like I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to find a reason to bitch about like knock on Nintendo. I'll like, I'm Gables and we are day oneers with this console. We are fully invested. We spent the $450 on this thing. We bought the Pro controller for $100. We bought all this stuff.
Yep.
We want a reason to play it, and I definitely want a reason to turn it on. Because like I said, it's literally just been sitting on my computer desk for 3 months unplayed. So I would like a reason to jump into it. Hell, just give me one of the fucking Pokemon games from GameCube, and I'll be happy with it. Maybe in like 3 weeks. They're gonna,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
they're finally gonna drop it on Pokemon Day, which is also the day Resident Evil Requiem comes out. Knowing my luck.
Oh god, so you're gonna go just internal battle between you playing Pokemon Coliseum and stuff like that, and all of a sudden Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
It will not be a battle. Leon will kick the shit out of Pokemon Coliseum. But I don't know. I want more at this point. But I'm a gamer on the internet, so that's usually what we want. But moving on, Gables, to some other news here. We're gonna switch it up from Nintendo for a minute to jump over to Steam. So obviously last year we had the announcement of the Steam machine. We had the VR headset and the controller. They announced this back in November. They're supposed to have details at the beginning of the year, and then it was going to be released in the first quarter, so probably figured like March. Steam has come out, or Valve rather, has come out and said that they are delaying the release of all these to the first half of this year. They talk a lot of it. It's just component issues and everything like that. So, God, Gables. We talked about last year with like Nintendo when like literally the day they did the full blowout for the direct for Switch 2, Trump announced the tariffs and that threw like everything for a loop. Like we've seen like multiple price increases of like their accessories and stuff like that, and like they had to stop the pre-orders for a while. Like if you look at like between those, between the tariffs, and then on top of that, now since like they announced this like the Steam machine, all this stuff in November to now we're seeing all the issues with like components. Everybody, like all these major companies are like building components for AI, rather for consumers and for these companies that are actually going to use them on like AI farms. Yeah, I mean, Gables, man, I don't know how to feel or what to think now about this Steam machine, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if like delaying it is gonna make it better or if it's just gonna be worse in 3 months. What about you?
It all depends, though. It just depends upon the market in terms of the company's support for all this AI stuff, in terms of like the chipsets, the this and that, like the RAM chips and everything else in between that initially, and plus a lot of the supply and demand and stuff through other companies. I mean, I think I actually told you about this potential thing. I think it was like a couple weeks ago or something, to where you actually had like certain companies that were sending representatives to live in actual Taiwan or something to get like negotiations to try to get some bit of availabilities for a lot of these chipsets, because a lot of these chip things from some of these major like publishers, like say like Samsung, that would create these chips, their sales would be like about a year out or something. So that this entire year be completely full of like orders. So just try to get like little bits here and there. And with this whole thing with this initial Steam machine, and this initial other types of accessories, their VR headset, their new controller, everything else like this is definitely a risk in terms of waiting a while and just delaying this stuff, because you do run the risk of things getting even more expensive down the line, because if this keeps on continuing like it is, there's going to be even more scarcity, and with it, the price is going to go incredibly up. So, what you may have thought that was going to release the first half of this year, or maybe like towards the end of springtime before summer, could probably be delayed maybe by another half a year, or like maybe like another year in general.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of the same thing that we're hearing rumors of some of the other gaming companies doing with some of their potential releases. Like, say, with Sony and the PlayStation 6, there were rumors circulating around that this initial system may not even be unveiled until like around 2028 at the earliest, maybe.
Yeah.
And so that's partially due because of these continuous constraints. But I feel like in order for all of this to really get out like on time and stuff without any type of major delays and stuff, a couple different things need to happen. There's got to be a reduction in terms of companies ordering a lot of these chips for AI purposes,
That's not gonna
which
happen.
in order for them to do that, there has to be some sort of extreme just downturn of like demand in terms of artificial intelligence stuff, which Right now, it doesn't seem too likely, but you never know what type of monkey
Well,
wrench is going to get thrown into
based off the
what.
advertisements we saw at the Super Bowl today, Gables, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
I know, right? I know. But like I was said, that's a possibility. But at the same time, even if it's a low possibility, it still present itself. Another thing could be maybe there's like, and I'm just saying this as like kind of a long shot as an example. Maybe there's like another way they can produce some of these chips in terms of like separate from these initial three major companies that do so that could maybe get like some sort of deal going with Valve or something in order to try to produce these type of chips like in-house or something like that here in the US and then try to get all this other stuff going. But that's still even more farther of a fetch than say the AI stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same point, if any of these type of things actually do happen or something else kind of comes up along the lines, I could see Valve keep sticking with what they're going with their initial release points, even though guessing at the price of it, it still would be. It could possibly be maybe an $8 to maybe $950 console,
Man, I think that's best
possibly.
case scenario. Honestly, at
That
this
would be the
point,
best case.
yeah,
And maybe at the worst, it's probably going to be like a 1200 to maybe $1,500
yeah.
console.
Like I thought this thing was like, I mean, estimations were like saying probably about $700 for the console in November. And yeah, I think anything under 1,000 is a win at this point.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
the AI bubble doesn't look like it's gonna burst anytime. It's eventually gonna burst. It's just a matter of when. And but it's just like also though like these companies are like they're switching over to like going building up for AI now, and it's gonna take years to go. Like you talk about the like a lot of these deals that like are put in place, they're put out years in advance. Um,
Yes.
so you gotta think about that. They're putting in all these deals in for AI companies years in advance, so they might be booked 2-3 years down the road. So you have it's kind of, we're looking at like 2020 again. We're like there was like we had all these different companies. We literally were like fighting with the governments for to build rockets and missiles and shit like that. Like pieces that go into like your phone or like it goes into every device. And it's like it's good. We're looking at that again. Maybe not to like the same extent, but something similar to that. Like it goes like to the fact that like Nvidia is bringing back old graphics cards to kind of like
Mm.
keep costs down, and also like just so they can make it a little more easier. They're like I think they're doing away with like their newer cards just because it's like they can't just financially can't do it. Or it's hard to get the product and it's gonna be so fucking expensive anyways. It's like yeah, I mean it's just I don't know, it sucks because it's just like we seen last year with like everything that went down with the tariffs and everything like that, and all the stuff with everything like Xbox raised prices twice, PlayStation raised prices, the Nintendo raised the price of the Switch One 8 years later, and then like the Amiibo went from $17 at the beginning of the year to it was like they're $40 to $50 by the end of the year. Like the console, like the price, all the accessories went up $5-10, and like now we're gonna be like now we're going to like we're dealing with those, and now on top of that we're gonna have this chip issue where it's gonna be all the same companies fighting for it. And yeah, there might I don't maybe we won't get hit right away because like the kind of big thing like we heard like maybe the best thing Nintendo ever did was delay the Switch 2 because of like
Yeah.
hey we're just gonna build up we're gonna just have a ton of these things sitting around. We've seen like hey and like we're gonna talk about that more next with the Nintendo financial report, but like we've seen it. That was like the big thing was like they're like a few months after launch they're just sitting at the store like they weren't super hard to get like you might have to work a little bit but like they weren't impossibly hard to get during the holidays. And they might be okay because they have so many stockpiled that like that like they might get through for a while, and like PlayStation and Xbox probably have that same thing, but like there's gonna get to a point though where like they're gonna get there too, and like I would be amazed that we get through the end of the year without all three consoles going up in price again, especially the Switch 2 I think is inevitable. It'll go up again, and then like the Steam machine. The problem is too is like PlayStation 5 is pretty established for what it is. Like it's not like
Yes.
I mean it's doing. I mean all like everything is like doomsday with like gaming nowadays and sales, but it's like it's doing really well. It's sold over 92 million. It's ahead of where the PS4 was at this point in time. Last generation, it's going to sell over 100 million units, which only four other consoles have ever done. Which that's a pretty big deal. And yeah, like I mean, Xbox is. I think Xbox would like they like to get to the next generation as quickly as possible, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case. But the main thing here is like Steam is like they're like as far as like the average consumer goes, like they are not established really. It's like look, we love the Steam Deck. A lot of people like a lot of people like that we know or talk to or like we hear on content creators that we listen to. It's like they rave about the Steam Deck. Most people don't know what a fucking Steam Deck is though. And it's like I think it's sold like
No, they don't.
10 million units, which is phenomenal for them. But like in the grand scheme of things, like getting to the mass audience, it's not really a thing. And it's like if this thing comes out, especially as like we're feeling the squeeze everywhere else with every other item that we like everything else that we feel squeeze on. It's like you hear about like the prices of like tickets to like concerts or like we're wrestling fans. All we hear about is like every like the complaints about the pricing of like WWE or like also on top of like the scalping and everything like that. It's like as you feel more and more squeezed out of like these like consumer like doing just side activities besides paying rent and bills and buying food. It's like it's like these things are getting more expensive the older they get, and it's like I don't know how people like I think the Steam Machine's is already gonna be more of a boutique item. Kind of like I said the same thing about the PS5 Pro. We freaked out when I think it was $700. It's like honestly like that thing's like if you would have bought that thing at launch, that's a steal now. Like you'd be happy to buy the thing for $700. Like that might be that's just like to us like in a couple of years that $700 price point like that's just the going rate now like for a base console. And I like the Steam Machine. If this thing comes out like $1,000 or more, even I thought even if it came up for $700, like it was like kind of the estimations were saying it was like that's on the high end. That's maybe the highest you can go. And like now it's like I don't know if it's fathomable for them to do it. And it's like look, I'm not one to defend gigantic corporations. No one loves to shit on a gigantic corporation more than me. But at that certain point though, I was like, I don't know if I could blame them because it's like like they have like it's like these things are so expensive and it's like to make and it's like yeah, like it'd be great if they like sold this thing at a loss. I feel like consoles you should because you make so much money of getting your 30-40% cut from selling games on it. But like there is only so much of like a cut they can take. It's like I went from like I'd probably go buy a Steam Machine even if it is $700 to like I can't like $1,200 possibly $1,000 for the Steam Machine. Like especially for like this thing, especially like this thing could be the Ouya in a year. It's like, oh God, like this is a disaster. Obviously like Steam's not going anywhere, so Steam will be a thing. But it's like I don't want to buy this thing that's just kind of dead on arrival. So I don't know. It's scary and it sucks and it's just like it's so frustrating. It's just like man, it's like I love gaming and it just sucks that like like we need more people buying games. And that's been the issue is like people like the like people aren't buying like the newer like there's always the next generation that comes in and like as we phase out of gaming the new generation comes in and like picks up the slack and it's picks up like where we're leaving as like people get older have kids married you have full-time jobs blah 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 so on and so forth. It's like the younger generation comes in and fills that gap. That new generation they're playing Roblox now, they're playing Fortnite, they're playing Warzone. Like they grew up on free to play games. Like that's like the thing they play now. It's like they don't buy games, they buy one maybe two games a year if that, or it's like they just play Fortnite with their friends nowadays. And it's like that's the thing they do. It's like it's just getting harder and harder for like the average Joe to just like the thought of like if you're just somebody that like wants to just play Call of Duty or Madden, it's like the get-in price now is astronomical. It's like man, you would like you used to be able to get a PS2 for or PS3 or PS4 for a couple $100. For $300 you got the newest console and the newest Call of Duty and Madden. Now it's like it's double that, just more than double that, just to get a fucking just to get the console. And then on top of that, all the accessories are expensive. You want a headset, $130. You want a controller, $80. It's like unless you can find unless you're savvy and find deals. It's like yeah, like you're gonna pay out the ass for all this shit. So and then plus you gotta spend $100+ a year for fucking PSN. So or $30 a month for a fucking Xbox. It's like goddamn, man. It's like can I get it? Like can I get some breathing room somewhere around here? I don't know, Gables. Like I said, I love gaming, and this is like the stuff that when it comes to like when I think about gaming and like the future of gaming, it's like I keep saying over and over again, it's maybe the best time ever to be a gamer for finding games to play. Like it's like we just got done with the first week of February. I looked at like I keep a list on my phone of like games I want to play for the year. I already have 28 games on my list of like games I'm looking forward to this year. It's like
oh jeez.
Yeah, like I'm honestly like if they don't have to announce another game and I'd be fine. So we lost Gables. Gables is gone. I'm gonna pause.
What in the hell?
Oh, Gables, you still there?
Oh.
I'm gonna pause. All right, folks. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Gables, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Well, is there anything you want to say about the Steam Machine stuff before we move on?
No, I think I pretty much touched upon the things I was wanting to say about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move on, Gables, to some Nintendo. Let me try that again. Nintendo financial report here. So kind of some updates here. Gil, I just love the way, I wish every console out there did the same thing, or just really every video game company just drop the deets on. I'm a sicko for gaming details and sales. I want to know what's going on, Gables, and I love the fact that Nintendo just kind of drops everything for you to look at here, and like a
Mhm.
nice little shiny, like they use some graphs. If you want to look at some graphs, Gables, it is sexy AF. I'll drop the link to you. I'll let
All
you
right.
see it when later on here. But Nintendo Switch 2 has sold 17.37 million units um,
Hmm.
so far in the first 9 months out. So far, the fastest selling console ever. Um, like we talked about, though, they spent so much time just stockpiling all that.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Switch officially, the Switch 1, officially passed the DS for the best selling Nintendo console ever with 155.37 million units sold. Now, so far, it's still only behind PS2, which I think is like 160 million. So probably not going
Yeah.
to pass
It's
that.
not passing
Yeah,
that.
probably not. But we do have some details, Gables, on some individual sales here. So Kirby Air Riders. So keep in mind, sales only go to December 31st. So this is just so really the first 6 months, rather. So Kirby Air Riders sold 1.76 million units. It's basically the first, like I think, like the November 20th, so like 5-6 weeks out in the market. It's kind of annoying the way they do it. They don't um, they only show you the Switch 2 sales, and then they show you the Switch
Yeah.
1 sales. So some of the stuff is like I'll have another thing here that kind of gives combined sales, but like Donkey Kong Bonanza so far is at 4.25 million units sold. So not bad. So about 25, a little under 25% attach rate. Mario Kart World at 14.03, which not really surprising there. Seeing the fact that it's like kind of like for the most part, if you're buying a Switch 2, you're getting the Mario Kart bundle because that's like the best deal as far as like sales and everything goes. But did I have anything else I've written down? I need to find the article I had. Pokemon Legends ZA combined sold 12.3 million units. About 2/3 of those though was on Switch 1. Um, there was a lot of concern about the Metro Prime 4 because Nintendo doesn't talk about the sales of things if it does under a million. So a lot
Right.
of people were concerned that like Metro Prime 4 wasn't there. Steven Totillo though did reach out and combined, if you combine Switch 1 and 2 together, it did surpass a million units sold. So that is some good news. Um, Gibbs, before we move on to better stuff, anything kind of out there that sticks out to you?
In terms of what kind of sticks out, I mean, I think it's kind of weird that Totello had to go through initially just search for more information about the initial sales for Metro Prime 4. You think it would have been readily and presentable. I mean, they had Kirby's Air Riders that had like was it 1.07 million or
For
what was it for
well,
the Switch 2?
we don't have Metro Prime 4 numbers. Kirby Air
Right,
Riders did 1.76 million though.
1.76. Okay, and yeah, that's I think that's kind of like weird that we don't have those numbers initially yet officially put on it by Nintendo. But at the same time, I thought it was really interesting that you had Pokemon Legends ZA that made all these millions of dollars in terms of this initial game, and yet in terms of like say the budget and everything else, they didn't really spend like a lot just to go through, but yet it just reinforces that whatever they end up making in terms of things, just people buy up a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean a lot of that too is like it's Nintendo's done such a great job. You could talk about anything on Nintendo; they always do a great job with like with their first party games. Maybe not great job,
Yeah,
but like they're when they want to put their like it's really when they want when they put the top, full effort in. It's usually a really great game. Then even like their like the sports games shit like that they sell so well, even though like
right.
there's like a lot even though like those games sell so well, but after like a weekend no one plays it anymore. Um, some other like sales figures that we have here. So the Super Mario Galaxy, like that bundle they did, sold. Oh, it was actually let me do that again. So they have individual sales number for the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 here. So Super Mario Galaxy 2, this is just like downloaded version and stuff like that. Sold 2.42 million, and Mario Galaxy sold 2.28 million units.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's like basically like
It's
14,000 more
50-50 almost.
yeah, like it's weird that like the Galaxy 2 sold 14,000 more, if I had that right, than Mario Galaxy, which is a little surprising there. Um,
Maybe not so much surprising, Tyler. Let's think of it this way. Galaxy 1 has been available in terms of like when Nintendo put out that
yeah,
Mario collection earlier on, like around in 2000, not 2020 or something like
yeah,
that.
2020. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
that
mean
whole
though. I
2020
I thought it
initial
would have been a
thing.
lot higher. I thought like Galaxy 2 would sold
Yeah.
like double, just because it's already been out there. But I do wonder because like, did they do anything different with Galaxy, with that individual Galaxy one? I can't remember.
No, they didn't really do too much in terms of like the differences. The only differences that you really could do is like in terms of when you're controlling Mario stuff, you could just shake the controller like pretty much
Yeah,
in terms of like say for the stuff. But for even some of the gyroscope thing, you can actually just do it in terms of like control sticks and stuff. So that's it was kind of reworked some bit in terms of the controller style and stuff when you
yeah.
how you can play it.
Yeah. So
And,
we didn't really get too many more details on like Switch 2 stuff. Like Switch 1, it sold 3.25 million units last quarter. So kind of an update there. That's kind of where it got it over to the 155 mark. But like it's kind of like we don't have too much more news on anything on like Switch 2 wise. I unfortunately I kind of I wish we got some more details on like maybe some of those like Switch 2 like updates we've been seeing a lot of like with that's kind of been the thing that's like filling in those gaps with Nintendo. Like Switch 2 was like we're getting that Mario Jamboree Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder coming I think in March or April. Um, so it's like I mean or like we had like what was it, we had like the upgraded version of like Tears of the Kingdom or like anything like that, like the basically the or the Mario Party Jamboree and stuff like basically like the ways that they can charge $80 for these games or a $20 upgrade. But yeah, I mean, we not too much in that one, so but we're early days. But I obviously a strong start. I mean, a lot of this like the details come down to this the fact that it the fact that there's so many out there. I mean, obviously that's always been the issue with like console launches, is the fact that like they they're usually so hard to get. Those first like really like 12 to 18 months are pretty difficult to get. And I mean, it's just been kind of readily available after like the first initial months. Um, but one thing that was interesting though, Gables, is the PS5 actually outsold the Switch 2 during the holiday months.
hmm, Honestly, I don't think it's really that too much surprising in some aspects of it because of the whole aspect of the sales wise during the holidays for PS5 consoles in comparison to say Switch 2s.
Hmm.
I mean, even for like say the PS5 Slim stuff, there were different bundles and it was roughly like what $50 less, I want to
I think it was
say,
50 to
than what
$100 depending where you looked.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They had more sales upon that because even with like the Black Friday leading into like the eventual holiday season and stuff, a lot of the console like a lot of like the console makers, from like Nintendo, Microsoft didn't really have a lot of like say actual deals on consoles in comparison to like PlayStation have a few of theirs. That's
hmm.
actually I bought mine like about a few weeks before the initial like sales went on to
Yeah,
effect here, but that's part of the reason why those consoles just end up a little bit selling
yeah.
a little
But
bit quicker and stuff.
part of that though is like literally those sales were down to the original price point, so it wasn't even like really a deal.
Right, I know,
It's just
right?
like what the price of the console was 3 months earlier. So yeah, I mean I'm surprised by the fact that like outsold just because like it's the new thing. They have like they have like they have Mario Kart out there. They have new Donkey Kong and stuff like that. You think
Right.
like that'd be a big major ordeal. And so yeah, I'm surprised. Like you have a console that's going into its sixth Christmas on the market, and it's $100 more than it used to be, versus a brand new console that's been out and technically cheaper than the previous one. So yeah, I am surprised by that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much time we're going to spend this one, Gables. There is a rumored PlayStation State of Play happening this week. I will do a live react to that. It sounds like it's on Thursday the 12th. But it sounds like that sounds like probably the most likely date. But I mean, assume it's most likely happening. Nate Tate talked about, Jeff Grubb talked about. So it feels Nate Tate's one that broke the news about the Nintendo Direct that we had last week. So I don't know. I just with State of Plays though, it's honestly I just don't know what to expect because they don't like PlayStation doesn't really have tentpole events anymore. So it's like this could just be a gigantic third party one. The last one we had was like a Japan focused one. This could be all third party stuff. This could have fucking what the one before that had fucking Marvel Tokon and Saros and
Right.
Wolverine at it. So who the fuck knows what's gonna be at this thing? Could be everything. Could be nothing. Is there anything like you're kind of expecting? What's your, are you excited for this kind of stuff?
Honestly, I'm excited for the idea that there's going to be another state of play. As as far as like say what it could be, I'm not entirely too sure. Sony usually likes to mix it up in terms of like third party, first party stuff, and even like little hidden tidbits like other companies do with their presentations to where, oh, okay, we're not going to talk about like a first party thing, and all of a sudden just immediately there's like a first party thing that happens within the first half hour or something like that.
Yeah.
But if one does happen to be open like present and stuff this week, then I'm hoping to see like some interesting first party content that I would like to play
Yeah.
in terms of like maybe some revitalized classics to release on the like the PlayStation Network stuff, the PS Plus stuff, just kind of like classic stuff is more I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
If I see a little bit more footage of like say Wolverine, yeah, that's an added plus because I kind of want to see more so of the initial gameplay aspects of it because I'm really kind of interested in seeing where like Insomniac is going to be going next with this initial game in terms of villains, in terms of like even more combat stuff,
Mm.
even some aspects of the story. I would like to know, even though it's Wolverine, it's not going to be overtly deep, But at the same point, I'm just expecting some more action games that kind of appeal to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's like I said, I'm already like you never really know what to get to these things. It's a box of chocolate. Never know what you're gonna get here. Yeah, I think honestly, it's like PlayStation's looking at like a pretty decent year right now. It's like, I mean, we got Star Wars coming out in April. Um, we have Marathon coming out in a few weeks. I do wonder maybe they like do their own thing, or maybe, like that could be like the big thing they show off here. I almost would rather I almost rather they just do like a marathon state of play on their own. Just kind of like showcase that. I've liked what they've seen so far, and I've already talked about. I'm kind of all in on marathon at this point. Like we have Marvel Tokon, we have Wolverine. So yeah, I think like they got a decent year. Looks like it's just a matter of like honestly just getting dates on this stuff, and I don't know if we'll get dates on any of those two Marvel games. Just because they're probably like waiting to see what else is coming out, and also GTA is obviously like around that time point, and sounds like this fall is gonna be pretty fucking packed with like a lot of games coming out. Like there's sounds like Fable, Gears of War, Call of Duty, um, Halo's supposed to come out in August. It sounds like Fable is probably September. Gears of War is October. Call of Duty is probably end of October. GTA, Pokemon, like whatever else is gonna be out there. It's like I mean, this fall is gonna be pretty packed. So I'm wondering like I don't know maybe they move some shit around here. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of it. I really hope we don't see more Resident Evil Requiem. I was tired of seeing Resident Evil Requiem like July, and not to say like look, I am so pumped for that game. I just don't want to see anything more about it. I just like, especially after the direct. I thought we didn't even mention how bad, like they couldn't show any gore during the direct, so it was like all like
Oh, it was so
Leon,
censored.
yeah, like Leon
It
missing
wasn't
every
just in the
shot.
Resident Evil stuff either, though. It was also inside the Bethesda stuff because they literally had it to where no one was getting shot or nothing was
Yeah,
that. They were just literally just shooting blanks and stuff
yeah,
of the
it was
things.
yeah, cutting away from like the chainsaws and stuff like that. So like yeah, it was so funny. Like yeah, so I don't need to see any more of that game. Like I was sold the moment it was announced. I just want it now at this point. So yeah, I just it's like I said, like some cool indie games maybe showing up there would be awesome. Maybe we get like a Hades thing there. I don't know. I don't Hades 2 type thing. I'm not gonna buy it again. I've already bought it twice, but I'll probably buy a third copy when it comes out digital or physically. But yeah, I don't know. Just I'm just hoping we get some dates. Honestly, at this point, it's like I said, I got 28 games coming out this year that I'm already looking forward to, or well, 22 I'm already playing, but 26 more coming out this year. I don't need too many more new games being announced. I just kind of want dates for a lot of stuff at this point. Um, but yeah, Gables, let's move on to we'll jump into what we've been playing, buddy. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first because mine's fairly straightforward. So I'm still continuing on with my Poison Team run in Pokemon Red. I managed to get a couple more Pokemon added to my team. So currently, I still have my Ivysaur. I still have like my Beedrill and stuff like that, and Nidoking. But I've also added two new Pokemon. I've added Zubat and I've also added Ekans. Both of them, I've been heavily trying to grind them up At this point, I already have 2 gym badges. I'm working my way through the Nugget Bridge and throughout that area to where I have to go to Bill's lab and stuff in order to try to, fix them, get them out of that Pokemon suit and all that other stuff. So I have yet to just clear out the rest of that stuff because I've been focusing on the patch of grass and a subset of trainers that are right before Bill's house. And so this is making me find out a little bit more so about some of these individual Pokemon I never usually play. So, for example, Beedrill, past playthroughs when I've had Beedrill, I just evolved it from Weedle to Beedrill and stuff. And then, that was it. Okay, it's okay. Well, I got these 3 entries inside my Pokedex and stuff. So I have my Beedrill currently at level 20, and have finally learned Twin Needle. Twin Needle is like one of 2 bug moves in this entire game. Twin Needle is actually the strongest bug move in this entire game. And it's just basically the same concept as, say, like a double kick, the fighting version of like this type of move where you hit the opponent twice, and I think you just generally do like 50 damage or something like that in general. So like 25 damage or something per hit, or power per hit, I should say, not damage. But yeah, I have my Beedrill just taught Twin Needle and stuff. Both my Ivysaur and my Nidorino and stuff are like level 22, 23, and stuff like that. Zubat, it finally knows more than just Leech Life and Supersonic. Inside this patch of grass I've been training at, I end up finding out a couple little quirks that I've forgotten about. One, when it's like, say, a bug type and you're using like bug moves or something against poison types, bug is super effective against poison. Inside of other versions of that game, that's not the case because I literally found out this by accident because I was using the move Leech Life on a poison type monster, like say a Weedle or a Kakuna, or even, and this is kind of weird though, like even like on Oddish because you have like a poison grass type. So in terms of like just a pure grass type, there's only like one in the entirety of Gen 1, and that's Tangela. Right? And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if I hit this bug type move in this Oddish, this should be like a quad weakness, right? And it's like it just basically does like 2 times weakness. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? Just finding out little nuances with this type of stuff. But Zubat at the moment is at level 16. He just learned Bite, and so Bite obviously is a lot more powerful move than just a base 30 attacking Leech Life. Because I think this one's like about 40 or 50 now that I think about it. But but yeah, I've just been grinding little bits on Pokemon Red and stuff. I'm just about done with that whole Nugget Bridge section. I'm going to be going on to Vermilion City, battling trainers on top of this initial the ship and stuff, and so I can just get the HM for cut, teach it a B drill, try to clear out Surge and all that other stuff. But the main goal is to have my Pokemon at least inside of their mid 20s before I face off against Surge. So I want to at least get that done first. But so far, so good. It really hasn't been too difficult so far. The only really difficulties I've had were against like some bits of like rock or like some bits of like bird Pokemon. So for example, when I was facing off against Brock to start off and stuff, I had to just predominantly use Bulbasaur during that stuff because obviously grass stronger than ground rock. But in terms of trying to leveling up Pokemon, that also became a little bit difficult because when you have like Pokemon like say Zubat that only learn a super weak bug type move, and most of the monsters you're like grinding on here are either bird types or pseudo like say poison types or something like that, or even against their normal types that you can't even hit them for very much damage and stuff. Yeah, it becomes a little bit of a frustrating affair because that forces you to having to start another Pokemon, right? In terms of just switching out back and forth. But other than that, though, I'm about 6 hours in, a little bit longer than in terms of an initial playthrough than I generally do for these type of games currently. But like I said before, this is going to be my whole focus is going to be on an entire team of nothing but poison type Pokemon. And I still have a couple more that I could potentially use. Coughing, and Grimer. Both of them I want to try to
Hmm.
use like something. Like if say I get tired of Beedrill, I could probably replace that with say like a Coughing or a Grimer. But I want a full team. I want to go into and beat this game with a full set of poison type Pokemon. Like that's just kind of the whole aim right at the moment. But other than that though, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
All right. I've played a couple games this week. I talked about it a little bit last week. I picked up Escape from Ever After. It's a cool indie game that I think just came out a few weeks ago. It's on everything. It is basically just like a modern day Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
Hmm.
And I've just I played it all the way through. I finished it up. Took me probably 13, 14 hours, but I did a good chunk of like exploring, and I did some of the side stuff. There's not a ton of side stuff to do in the game. Like I mean, I'd say I did the bulk of the game. There's a ton of like collection stuff. Like you can find like the sun gems in the game. That kind of like they give you like you can use to buy from a certain store, stuff like that. I found like did some like this. There's like little side things you can do for certain characters. I mean, this game is like, if you would have told me that like that Paper Mario team got back together 20 years later, and it's like we don't have the Mario IP, but we're gonna make a modern day Paper Mario game. Like this is it. This is like it is. They nail it. Like it looks exactly like the art the style of it is like exactly the same. It's a paper style art design. Like you can turn like your main character into like different kind of thing. I won't spoil anything like that, but you can change your character a little bit to like solve puzzles. All the characters you get throughout the game are really really good, and like what they add to it, the puzzles are well done. They're not like incredibly like they're not incredibly challenging, but they are thinkers. You sit there and think about it a little bit, and it's like, oh man, I got something, a couple of those. But it's just like down to like they do so many things of like being like a modern day Paper Mario Thousand Year Door game, but it's also like it's not just a copy of it. Like they just take on it, they build on it, and they make it like it kind of like the pain points of like a game from 20 years ago. Maybe that you would have felt they do away with that. A lot of that, like you can go in there's difficulty options. You can actually go in and you can set it to like like the battle system is exactly this, just like Thousand Year Door, where you time it, you can block to the rhythm, you can you can do it more damage if you time the attacks just right. They have like every time you level up, they have like you can increase your HP or your MP or the like the thing where you can like hold more badges and stuff. Like there's badges in the game. There's like this thing is like down to like the T of like all those, but like they do a lot of like not like you can make the game easier. You can make it so like you can go in accessibilities, like you can set it to like you automatically like you can like it auto blocks every attack, or you automatically do the extra damage. So you take less damage and do more damage, stuff like that. Or you could like I said, easy. You can make it easier or harder for yourself if you want to. Like there's like even like there's like the 100 level mode in that game. Like I didn't do that. I did like 20 of those, but like this game is like really really good. Like and not just like the way it looks, the way it plays. Like yeah, it takes a lot from that. But it does a really good job of all of those things. But also like it stands up on its own. Where like the characters in the game are really funny. Like multiple times it's like just like laughing out loud like at the dialogue. Like the characters in the game are really really good, and like the music is phenomenal. It is really like I love it. The music is really really good. Like I woke up the other day just humming the theme song like in bed. Like immediately just woke up and started just humming the song. Like some of them like and every level has like their own type of like there's like one that's like it's kind of like a jazzy type of music. I'm like, oh man, this slaps. Man, this like I want to play this my wedding night type of soundtrack here. But like yeah, I like basically the whole idea is like there's this evil corporation that has come and like taken and like taken over all the like the like like the famous fairy tales of your life that we all know, like we like heard growing up, and like they've like kind of like in a way kind of like they're like making them worse or destroying them, and then like taking the people out of them and like like making them work in like this boring like office job for like pennies. But it's like there's funny parts of like the three blind mice show up, but now they can see because they got health insurance. It's like little stupid shit like that. Like yeah, the game is so funny. It's so well done. Like I was at the end of the game, when it wrapped up, I was actually like I wasn't like I wasn't crying, but I was like tearing up a little bit. I'm like, oh man, this is hitting in the field. Like my boy Wolfgang, up there, like my big bad wolf, Wolfgang. Like I love that guy. One of my favorite characters. Yeah, I've played in like one of these type of games for a long time. Like yeah, man, I had to tell him I couldn't stop playing it. I thought I was like closer to the end. I think it was like Thursday night I was playing it. Maybe it was Friday night. I was like, I'm getting pretty close to the end of here. I think I'm gonna play it. I ended up playing for like 6 hours straight and like beat the game at like 1 a.m. Like I'm like, oh god, that took me a lot long. Like I thought I was gonna be done like 9, 10 o'clock. I was like, oh yeah, it took me like twice as long. But like I was having so much fun with the game all the way through. Like, and it actually will get like a little like there's some parts here where like it gets like I didn't do like the accessibility stuff. I was still playing it through like I would like like Paper Mario and stuff like back in the day. But like man, those last couple of fights like I say the last like area and a half get pretty challenging and like a fun, not like a frustrating way, but like oh man, like you've like for the like I'm really strategizing here like. Like I wasn't really using a lot of items. I'm using a lot of items now at the end. I'm like swapping in my teammates, stuff like that. Like, this game, it is really well done. It's like it is like I said, it is like if you would have told me that like the exact team from 20 years ago that made Thousand Year Door got together to make the sequel without the Mario IP, I believe you. This game is great. It is phenomenal. Like, yeah, if this game doesn't make my top 10 list this year, Gables, it's been a great goddamn year. I'll say that because it's up there. I think it's like 20-25 bucks and like it's on everything. So I highly recommend it. The other thing about playing, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I've only played it for a few more hours. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I did buy that. It's actually probably the last thing I ever buy from GameStop. My GameStop closed a few weeks ago in town.
Oh.
So the one I've been going to for like 30 years. So I mean, I haven't been going there too much, but when I have, it's like it's obviously been like GameStop we all know for the last decades eventually going to go away. But this one is like definitely like okay, you're more merchant like T-shirts and Funko Pops and than you are video games. Especially like when the new generation came out, when the PS5 and Xbox came out, it's like oh my god, like it felt like the gaming's in there like cut in half. But yeah, so it closed. So like I had like $30 something in store credit and like $25 in like the GameStop bucks, whatever it is. So I ordered it online and I didn't get my copy until like I think it was Friday afternoon. I got it. But yeah, it's probably like it only cost me like $8 to get or something. But anyways, yeah. So I'll probably never buy anything from GameStop ever again. I deleted the app off my phone and everything, so I have no use for that thing. Probably should cut up I have a GameStop credit card. I should probably cut that up too while I'm at it. But anyways, I played through the demo. It took me like I did a lot of grinding in that demo just because I want to get to like there's a level cap in the demo. It's like level 15. I did a bunch of grinding to get to that.
Right.
You could probably beat the demo in like 4 hours. It took me like 6 hours to do that just to get the level cap and everything. I'm about 9 hours in so far now with it. And I like it. I'm not like blown away by it. But I think it's a pretty cool game. Like I like the music in it. I actually like the visuals of it a little bit here. Like it's growing on. Like at first I didn't care for it, but it's growing on me. I've never played Dragon Quest before. This is my first ever Dragon Quest game. I will say though, it feels like it's almost like baby's first JRPG in a way, where like it gets a little easy, and there are like accessibility options in there too, where you can do more damage, you can earn more XP, you can earn more gold and stuff. If you want that, if you don't want to spend a lot of time grinding, that is there for it. You can do like auto battle, or like you can like speed up the battle so you can get through it pretty quickly. But like I'm enjoying the game. I am. I think it's fun. I like the music. I think the story is fine so far. Like I said, I'm like 9-ish hours in. I've gone through a few areas, a few temples. I don't know what you technically want to call them. But yeah, I mean, I like it so far. I don't know if like I heard it's closer to like this game was very, very long, and the complaint about that game was like how long it is. And then like they did like the remake for 3DS and they cleaned up a lot of it, but it was still pretty long. And I guess this one is actually like a lot shorter, like closer to like for a JRPG. I heard you can like it's like 40-ish hours to beat. So I don't know if I'm gonna like. I don't know. I think it's one of those games. It's like a game that's gonna keep me. I'll probably be playing it. But if like I don't beat it by the time like Resident Evil Requiem stuff comes out, and then March gets pretty crazy as far as game releases go. It might be a game I move on from, but like I think it's fine so far. Like for a guy that's never played a Dragon Quest game before, is not the biggest JRPG fan anymore. Like growing up, that's all I care. Like JRPGs was the only thing I played. It was like sports games and JRPGs. I'm enjoying quite a bit, but like I'm not like gung ho about it. But like I said, it's a JRPG. 9 hours ain't shit in JRPGs, so we'll see. But anyways, that's all I've been playing. But we'll be back next week. If there is a state of play, it's a good reason to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will be doing a live react to that, so keep an eye out for that thing. But yeah, anyways, we'll be back next week. I was your host. I was Tyler.
I've been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
Hey, Gibbles.
Yeah.
Too sweet.
Yes, Sweetman.
Bye, guys.
See ya.